Hello everybody, welcome back to the ASUS ROG YouTube channel. It's JJ once again. I've got another unboxing for you. Today's unboxing is going to be the Crosshair 5 Formula, a brand new 990FX motherboard. This board is going to be replacing our previous Crosshair 4 Formula based off the 890FX chipset. Now, just before we dive into the actual unboxing itself, one thing to clarify is that the brand new 990 series chipset, which is replacing the 890 series chipset, where it's fundamentally going to be a little bit different is going to be in two aspects. One is going to be the inclusion support for SLI based multi-GPU technology. So on some boards that might be two-way SLI, on other boards it might be three-way SLI, such as the Crosshair 5 that we're going to be taking a look at today. In addition to that, it also is going to be the foundation for AMD's upcoming CPU, the Bulldozer-based platform or Zambezi-based 8-core CPU. So while previous generation boards are going to support interoperability in terms of being able to run these previous Thuban-based, or which are hex-core, or previous quad-core or even dual-core based CPUs on the 800 series, as well as the upcoming CPUs, you're going to get the best performance and overclockability from the new 900 series. So let's go ahead and jump into this guy and take a look. So here we've got the box in classic ROG fashion. Of course, you crack this guy open and of course you get to see the actual board. We'll get to the board in a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at actually what comes inside here quickly. Let's go ahead and first take a look at our accessories. Alright, so first thing that we see here is we actually have some serial ATA cable labels. So this is a quick and easy way that you can go ahead and just attach these to your serial ATA cables and know what device is linked up to what device. Of course, we have the actual manual itself, which details the installation of the product and multiple aspects and features of the actual motherboard. Here we've got the support DVD. This is important. While you might want to always go ahead and check our support site or the vendor sites for the latest available drivers for the onboard components, definitely don't forget that actually included here on the disk is a full version of Kaspersky 2011, a great security application and antivirus, as well as we now are including Damon Tools Pro Standard, which is a really cool virtual disk ISO mount tool, so that if you got games or applications that you frequently utilize but you need to actually have the CD or DVD in your drive to actually run this application, you can now go ahead and use that program, mount it into the OS, and don't have to worry about always loading in a disk or taking anything out. See, we've got 6 serial ATA cables, and these are actually all the upgraded SATA 6G cables, which actually are additionally shielded and are better ground so that you can ensure higher performance, especially at the higher throughput speeds of the high performance SATA 6G based SSDs. We have our I/O shield, but just like any of our high-end I/O shields, of course it's Q-Shield, so it's got padding there to make the installation process a little bit easier, softer, and as well as minimize EMI. You've got the Q connectors. This is a great and easy way to let you go ahead and take the leads from within the chassis or slash the case and go ahead and connect these to the motherboard a little bit more quickly. Got some zip ties. Got your Crossfire cable. We got another Crossfire cable. And there we've got our 3-way SLI bridge, as this motherboard supports 3-way SLI. We also have our USB ROG Connect cable, which we'll be going into for those of you that are not familiar on what ROG Connect is. We'll go ahead and touch on this a little bit later, but this allows you to go ahead and make a connection from the motherboard to a USB-enabled PC, such as like a notebook, a desktop, or a netbook, or even a tablet. And then lastly, allow you to go ahead and brighten up your case. You got a cool ROG sticker. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the board itself. Okay, so here she is. Just looks awesome. Classic red and black styling that ROG is really known for in terms of the visual look. So this is based off the new 990FX chipset. We're going to go ahead and just do a little bit of an overview in terms of what kind of connections and layout and whatnot that we have here present on the board. So first and foremost, you can see that we have a black AM3 Plus socket. So this denotes that this is actually the AM3 Plus designed for the brand new Zambezi and Bulldozer based CPUs that are going to be coming out. And of course we have full support for all the current Dubin 6-core based CPUs that are readily on the market. Okay. Standard DDR3 support. The ROG board has been optimized and fine-tuned to allow for actually high-speed DDR3 performance. So the ROG team has definitely tweaked and tuned to ensure even in excess of 2133 DDR3 support. So that's a very standout feature for our motherboard here. Taking a look at the spotlight here, of course, is that we have a lot of PCIe connections. So we've got one PCI by 16, another PCI by 16, another PCI by 16, and another PCI by 16, with one PCIe by 1, and then one PCI slot. So a lot of connectivity available to you, and of course we've got standard dual slot spacing available to you if you were to go ahead and run two standard graphics cards, one here and then the other here, and you can still maintain spacing. And of course for those users that are interested in running three-way SLI, you can go ahead and enable one card, another, and then another. The great thing about that design is that you have three-way without overhang, so that you don't have to equip it into chassis, that when you have a motherboard that's designed for three-way without overhang, that last card is going to drop off and might require an actual chassis that has 8 slots, which is a little bit less common. So here we give you a lot of flexibility. Now for the users that are really interested in the highest level of performance, through an optional accessory called the expander, we can go ahead and actually add that onto the motherboard and give us actually more slots so that we could go ahead and enable actually up to 4-way SLI. So pretty awesome in terms of the features and functionality that we have for multi-GPU performance available to us on this board. So let's go ahead and jump over to the back I/O before we take a look at the rest here. You've got 2 USB 3 ports. These are powered by the brand new AS Media 3.0 controller. This is actually faster than our previous generation NEC controller. Got the clear CMOS, PS2, eSATA, 2 more USB 2 ports, optical and Toslink, 2 more USB 3 ports, so far a total of 4 USB 3, 2 additional USB 2 ports. We then have Gigabit LAN, but this is Intel Gigabit LAN. And not only are we utilizing a higher quality of LAN controller that's going to give us better performance, lower CPU utilization, and a really mature driver stack that is really well in terms of its compatibility with different types of applications like TeamSpeak, Ventrilo, VMware clients, all kinds of different applications work really well with the Intel controller. So you not only get that great compatibility, but that increased performance. Adding to that, because this is an ROG board, we're also including a piece of software called Game First. This is special packet priority software which will actually optimize your packets as they're coming into the system to go ahead and give you the best performance for your games. And you can go ahead and select how to prioritize your actual games or what applications you want to get better bandwidth than others through a very easy and accessible applet. And that's on the software support disc, so definitely make sure to check that out. Here we've got that white ROG Connect port. You would go ahead and take this cable, connect it to this port, and then go ahead and connect it to your notebook or your desktop or your netbook, and this will go ahead and allow you to have low-level access directly to the motherboard to go ahead and do things such as turn off the system, power it on, monitor the actual post-process, take a look at your temperatures, be able to adjust the actual voltages, overclock the system, and we're even upping it up in addition to that and allowing you to actually control the GPU so you can overclock the GPU. So it's a pretty extensive level of functionality that's available to you in terms of ROG Connect and what you can do through it. Lastly, we've got 3 additional USB 2 ports here. So that gives us a whole lot of expansion connectivity available to you here. And then lastly, we've got the HD audio connections. And these are gold-plated connectors. Now, working along with the HD audio, we'll move back to the board here, and we can see that we've got our SupremeFX XFi 2 package. What that means is that this motherboard features Creative's XFi 2 package, and this allows us to go ahead and get advantage of THX Studio True Sound, as well as EAX5 support. So we got a lot of functionality in terms of being able to give you better sound quality, customize the sound experience, as well as give you that EAX so that if you're utilizing a game client or a title that features EAX, you can go ahead and get the best positioning in terms of the audio. So let's go ahead and move back over to the rest of the board and take a look at what we have here. We've got our connections in terms of our CPU power, an additional one for more power under heavy overclock situations. We've got another Molex connector here, and this would be utilized when we're heavily benching the system or on a high-level overclock, multiple GPUs, and really stressing out the platform, and we need to ensure power delivery. Here we can see we've got a really high-quality heatsink assembly with a sintered-based heat pipe that actually runs underneath to really make sure that we're effectively dissipating the heat that can come out from our MOSFETs and our drivers that are underneath there, especially when we're driving a high-level overclock. But this system is going to be running quite efficiently because it does feature our Digi Plus VRM technology. For ROG, it's even tweaked and tuned a little bit more for performance, and that's actually what we call the Extreme Engine Digi. Extreme Engine Digi is really focused at allowing you to be able to push the multiplier and the frequency of the board higher and higher and higher. It's the main reason why ROG boards have really set the precedence in terms of overclocking potential. And you can see that by the extensive super alloy chokes that we have actually here on the inside of the VRM. A little bit hard to see, but these are very high quality alloy-based chokes that give us a significantly higher amperage rating for how we can power the CPU, especially when it's overclocked. Moving over to some of the other options that we're going to have available to you on this board, it's going to be a lot of fan connectivity. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 4-pin fan headers, so that's really unprecedented. You have a huge amount of connectivity available to make sure that you've got everything really well cooled. On top of that, we've got the optional temp sensors here so that you can go ahead and connect a probe and you can monitor the temperature in multiple points on the motherboard, so you can effectively go ahead and take advantage of that. You've also got your front USB 3, you've got your 6 right angle serial ATA, and you've got your PCI Gen 2 AS Media serial ATA 7th SATA port here as well. So that rounds out most of the key elements on here. The only other items are pretty ordinary for high-end enthusiast boards. So we've got the voltage read points, the OC overclock button, start and reset. So hopefully you guys liked this quick unboxing. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you're interested in checking out, let us know on the YouTube's comment page or head over to asusrog.com/forums. Thank you.